I am standing in a freezing cold New York City, but outside 770, which is the place I studied and learned and from which I gain warmth in my life every single day. So we're standing in the first day of Chanukah, and the festival of Chanukah commemorates a number of beautiful miracles that took place. Firstly, there was the miracle of a few Jews who stood up against an Assyrian Greek army who wanted to root out any vestige of Judaism, connection, tradition, love of Hashem from the Jewish people, God forbid. And after winning the battle, incredibly, few against the many, we then had a second miracle where we found a cruise of oil which had not been contaminated. And a third miracle, when we lit it, it was only enough oil to last for one day. It continued to burn for 8 days, until which time they were able to produce new oil. And the question that has to be asked is the Assyrian Greek army, who had an intention to root out any connection to Hashem. We didn't mind quaint performance of traditions of the Jewish people, but were absolutely intent, lashkicham toirosecha, to root out any connection to spirituality and to Judaism and to Hashem. And therefore they actively went to desecrate every cruise of oil that had the seal of the Kohen Gadol and that had the spiritual quality that was desired and required for the lighting of the menorah in the temple. That was what they intended to do. It wasn't collateral damage of their war. They went out actively to root out any connection, and therefore any left vestige of oil that had the seal of the Kohen Gadol had to be destroyed. So how is it they missed one? Why is it that with all of that intention they weren't able to get rid of even this last cruise of oil? And there is a beautiful message. That cruise of oil, that incorruptible core, represents the soul of a Jew. And no matter where we find ourselves in the world, and no matter how lost we might think we are, we always have a cruise of oil. A cruise that is beyond the reach of the Assyrian Greek army, beyond the reach of evil and negativity. There is, no matter where we find ourselves, and no matter how lost we think we are, we always have a part of our neshama that remains connected to Hashem. And when we connect to that cruise of oil, to that essence, to that incorruptible core, then the miracle of that light continuing to burn is a natural consequence of a miraculous connection. When we remember that we have a part in our soul that is a chelek elok hamimal mamash, that is a part of God, that is an essence that is beyond and impervious to any kind of negative force. When we remember that, and when we connect to that, then we have an ability to live on and to bring light and illumination to our people and to the world, even in the darkest hour. May Hashem bring this festival of Chanukah, which brings light into the world, to rekindle the menorah inside the temple with the coming of Mashiach. May it be speedily in our days. Have a beautiful Chanukah and a beautiful Shabbos beyond.